Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the European Masters as we're getting ready to go into our 6th and final game of the day. This is going to be versus the EBL's SuppUp eSports and from the Dark region, GamerLegion. Now, what are we thinking about this game, Gulborg? I'm looking at it on paper and I'm like, this is kind of favored towards GamerLegion right now.
Yeah, it is, but we've already seen one upset today with We Love Gaming going straight into this draft. I think we should talk about some of the things with GamerLegion. If you're not familiar with GamerLegion, they are incredibly flexible and hard to prep against. In their regular split of 18 games, 22 games, they played 42 champions in total. 12 onto Hjarnan, 11 onto Nite, 11 onto Rabble, 10 on Visdom, and 9 in phones. That's every second game you're playing a new champion and never touched the champion you've played before.
And when I was talking to Gulborg about this, he explained it to me as they're mad scientists in draft, and I love that. Now let's have a look at what's actually been taken out of the game so far.
One mad scientist is
Heimerdinger as well from Hjarnan, pretty much expected when you're playing versus him. The volley bear being removed, something we haven't seen too much today. And then the Nautilus and the Kha'Zix, followed up by the Lucian. As these picks and bans, they're just rocketing through right now. We'll see what SUPP look to pick up.
But I like the respect already onto Spooky here. Now, this is one of the things. SuppUp eSports, really happy to be flexing this Lucian. One of the things they like as well, speaking of flexing, is picking volley bear top. And not only in the jungle, obviously they banned them themselves because they're having the pressure onto the Lucian here. So flex is open and available. And you can still play the likes of Carters in the bot lane as we have already seen today.
Yeah, well, we'll see whether or not they decide to actually put that Carpus in the bot lane, but it does feel like a Hjarnan champion as well. So Sett's going to get picked up. Flexible pick here. Phones can take it, or Rabble can take it. Same with that Lucian, though. Also flexible. Can go bot. He can go mid. We actually saw Pride in the NLC take it top lane as well. So there's potential for that to be moved around a little bit here. Now, GamerLegion, what are they going to pick up as their next pick? I don't want to see a top lane or a jungler. I want to see maybe an AD carry here. I want to keep that Sett flexible.
Well, one of the things we completely missed is that Caitlyn is still up and available.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and she's not even being prioritized by any of these champions. Another special coming in here is obviously Nite. Vel'Koz usually picks it into the likes of the Syndras, the Oriannas, the champions he can outrange, but now into a Lucian here, or potentially a Lucian.
Yeah. Well, we'll see whether or not that, because that also is technically flexible, can go support. Hasn't been a while since I've seen it go support in competitive, but the Ashe is going to get picked up, confirming for that Lucian is definitely not going bot lane. And now SUPP, they're going to maybe pair something up with that, but actually they're going to go for the Nidalee in the jungle. So it's going to be able to get a fast pace off in the jungle, can look to try and snowball through there.
So still trying to be the aggressive jungler that we know Spooky is. They tried to get rid of the Kha'Zix and Lee. Well, still the Nidalee up and available for Spooky. So now you're playing off the pressure that you can get from his Lucian in the solo lane. That will just, in general, facilitate the Nidalee. She gets way more room to play with when the lanes are being pushed in.
And there's Hjarnan. He's going to get his hands onto the Jhin. This is a champion I like. When I think outside of the Heimerdinger, I actually do think of Jhin when I think of Hjarnan. He's really, really good on this pick. It's solid in the current meta as well. It's okay into the Ashe as well because, you know, obviously she can cancel out your ultimate, but you can keep the range going at least. So your ult's not that great. I'll give him that. But, you know, it's not like you're going to be completely short range and constantly getting poked out by the volleys. As the Morgana gets picked up here for GamerLegion as a ban, over to SUPP.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm actually starting to believe in the Vel'Koz flex you were talking about a bit. Vel'Koz, Vel'Koz Jhin used to be one oppressive lane that you deal with. There's so much poke coming out from it, and you can just run down immobile targets like, what's she called? An Ashe in the bot lane. That was really hard for me, I don't know why. And that could also mean, that's also why you're getting rid of the likes of Morgana, trying to get rid of that CC. Even though that Vel'Koz is known to be good against just removing the Black Shield, it also removes the CC chain coming in from a Jhin Vel'Koz.
Well, now the Braum's going to get taken away, so the support balls are being heavily pinched out right now. The Heck from the final ban going to get taken away from Rabble. Over to GamerLegion. We expect to see something that starts to give us some kind of an idea of what's going where. They may want to counter-pick top lane. They may want to counter-pick mid lane, but looks like that is going to be Nite's Vel'Koz. We did say it was a bit of a special for him. They lock in the Leona, and that does mean that the Vel'Koz is going to be going in the mid lane, but top lane or jungle hasn't been revealed yet.
Yeah, so that's just a feels bad man spending the whole second ban phase talking about that. but moving on, obviously you're removing a lot of the CC a lot of the peel you could get with the Morgana and the Braum into the Leona here, and there is still backline damage coming in. You got a front line now in the set.
In fact, there's the peeliest peel.
Thomas Kench once again coming in. We did see it already one time today, not with the best, let's say, performance in general.
Yeah.
But coming into this one here, the Vel'Koz is still nice backline damage coming in. You have a front line with the Leona, you have a pseudo tank, and you Sett as well. Now you know the enemy is picking the Renekton as the blind here. You can potentially throw the Sett into the jungle, and you get the counter pick for the top side here.
And what are they going to go with that Renekton getting picked up here? Go in the top lane. What do you think is going to do well into this Renekton? Do you just keep it at arm's length with something ranged, or are you going to try and go toe-to-toe with it? What do you want here from GamerLegion?
Honestly, I want you to just say, fine, you'll have that Renekton. And they'll will
That's
go
what they've done.
Yeah.
It's just gone the Ornn.
That's fine, because you got some lanes you want to play for here. You want to make sure that you're stabilizing the Ashe. You got the Tahm Kench. Might not be enough, might be enough. Depends on how the lanes is being played out. You got the Lucian, which pressure you're also playing off. And then you got the pressure of the Nidalee. So this means that in early game, you're very dependent on the Nidalee. But if you can get through that early game as GamerLegion, you have great team fight potential coming in with this one. You got the Sett, you got the Leona, you got the Ornn, and you got the backline damage with the Vel'Koz and the Jhin. And you don't necessarily have a full tank on the side of SuppUp eSports.
Yeah.
So you're very dependent on getting the ball rolling in the early game, and then have a look onto Spooky, have a look onto Lukezy. They're the one who's going to be the main driving factors, and then, you know, VCC might be relevant when you get to that mid game with this Ashe, or just pick potential with the arrow if you want to make something happen up a snowball. But other than that, as GamerLegion, you're looking to chill.
Yeah, that lack of true tank is a little bit of a worry of me for SUP, because if they don't get ahead, they will just get cut through. Jhin loves anything that isn't a tank. He loves being able to just shoot you down with those 4 shots and just take him out. As we do take to the Summoner's Rift for our 6th and final game of day 1 of the European Masters. GamerLegion are taking on SuppUp eSports. This is Dark versus the EBL.
And EBL, not one of the regions that's been the most represented up until recently. Obviously, we used to have KlickTech beforehand, who was already always coming in, and don't underestimate KlickTech. But how long can that narrative go on as well?
Yeah.
We haven't seen that in a long time now, and it's time for some new blood in SuppUp here to come up here and really show that EBL is still made of, you know, power.
I mean, the KlickTech clap was Season 1. It was the first ever European Masters. We haven't really seen an EBL team perform to that level since the likes of Melissa leaving, Sacre leaving the region. The EBL has been a little underwhelming. We want to see a new legacy carved out for EBL now. And a win here versus GamerLegion is a pretty strong statement. Now, it's going to be a tall ask. They've got themselves accomplished. It's very reliant on them getting ahead and snowballing with that. So we'll have to see where they want to try and put that attention, as both of our junglers will be starting up on the red buff apiece.
And immediately, Spooky just realizing all the bot lane of SuppUp here, they realize, okay, we're going to be pushed in either way. We're playing with the Tahm Kench. So the reason why they leash is they know how this lane state is going to go no matter what. They're just going to be pushed in, and they're not going to have much priority. That's why they're helping the Nidalee, trying to excel her already from the early game, while on the other hand, you're looking at Rabble, and he just, you know, a lot of things we see from a Sett is that from 3 minutes into the game, they like to be proactive. They don't mind spending a flash, because you got that Hex Flash anyway onto Sett.
It's all about getting in there with the flash, getting the Nimbus Cloak proc off, and just getting into the lane, because one of the problems Sett struggles with is his ability to close gaps. He doesn't have any real gap closers. Sure, his Q gives him a little bit of movement speed, but he does struggle on that front. Now, Rabble actually doesn't do a full clear topside. Spooky is doing his full clear bot side and now moving up. So Nidalee, renowned for her clear, is one of the things she does oh so well, as Nite is getting his hand, he's just getting smacked around a little bit.
And this is also just the strength of a solo lane Lucian. You're pretty much guaranteed to get that pressure. When you have press the attack, I mean, it's one auto, and then you just reset with a dash, and then that press of the attack is proc. That's extra percentage damage once you Q, so it's really easy to get pressure in this lane. Obviously, you're AD, while the Vel'Koz is AP, so the scaling has not come through yet. The wave clear from these characters not come through yet, other than Lucian obviously having the advantage to do that.
Spooky going for a cheeky invade, but has actually been spotted out, and Lucy's also moving up, so SuppUp actually looking for a very early tower dive here. Spear's going to go a little bit wide as Phone's able to get away to safety, but this is the proactive we wanted to see from SuppUp.
And this is the kind of pressure you need to be playing off here, and trying to get back into the lane, try and get some farm here. Really nice what do you say?
Proactive.
Yeah, but no, not really proactive. That's not the word I wanted at all, so that's why that's why I tried not to say.
Pro, and I was
yeah,
like,
no, I was not looking for it. I was just in general respect coming out from Thorns here, just realizing the movement is coming up here. You need to sacrifice these waves, which is also why I like the Ornn pick. Not a champion who's necessarily depending on getting a huge gold lead. His itemization fairly cheap as well, where most other champions would be relying on big item spikes.
And that was a perfectly timed attempt of a tower dive, because Renekton spikes heavily at level 3 once he's got all of his abilities, bar the ultimate. Is able to just get the CC off, you get the heal down from the Q, he can reset with a slice and dice and get in and out of the turret nice and quickly. Nidalee's very speedy as well, so I actually really like they're trying to emphasize and go on the power spike of the Renekton. As now Rabble, he's the one looking to be proactive, but he will get spotted out by all of these wards that SuppUp have placed down. And klowny, he's aware of this. He's just going to shut the wave in, move away. Look at the CS deficit top lane. Already, Phone's heavily struggling.
Yeah, it's just perfect, but luckily for Phones, the wave is in a really nice state. But it's just frozen right outside of the turret, and obviously, klowny not too happy going forward here. I say that.
Yeah, for a minute I was like, who's going to win this? But Crocodile does come up as the Goat God, unfortunately, does get himself on the receiving end of the worst end of that trade. The lane's going to get shoved in. This will be a 10 CS lead to klowny as he's going to go off to base.
One of the nice things when you're playing Renekton is that your jungler is AP. When you're playing into Ornn specifically, you get different damage profiles. Ornn often will go for, you know, armor in lane, maybe double armor if he really wants to be defensive in this lane. And when you get in a Nidalee in there, it's just different damage profile that makes it harder for an Ornn to itemize and be that weak side where you could just be a tanky tank, not really lose.
A tanky tank.
I don't know.
We'll go with that.
A beefy tank, whatever you want.
A beefy tank, I like that. I like tanky tank.
Well, what else would you use? Beefy tank, tanky tank?
A large tank.
A large?
No, I wouldn't use a large tank as a way to describe it. You put me on the spot and I didn't like it.
Now mid lane.
Oh, Nite just gets flashed onto. Lukezy looking for the solo kill. Now he gets him with the ultimate. Nite snipes him down and finds the solo kill.
And out of nowhere. Do you know how calm he was? This man got ice in his veins. Didn't even use the flash when the Lucian dashed onto him. And then life formed disintegration ray. Immediately coming in there, just cleaning it up. Yeah, you like how I know that name, huh?
I was struggling to remember the name, and I was like, thank you for reminding me on that. He gets him with a laser beam. Look at this play, though. Like you said, just so cool-headed by Nite.
Coming in here, press the attack, already procced here, so extra damage coming in from the percentages. Doesn't even flash here. Just, you know, turns around, was that, you're dead.
That was so calm and collected, and that just means now there isn't the ability to punish him again. He's still got that flash. He just used heal. He's going to be fine to play up in the lane still. He's going to go back to base, get himself a couple of amp tomes. It is actually the Meteor build and not the Collision Augment build on the Vel'Koz, so that's confidence in knowing that you're just going to be able to do a lot of damage and land your skill shots. As just solid stuff here from GamerLegion, just a complete outplay in the mid lane, and the pressure and the tempo that SuppUp was starting to build is now alleviated somewhat from that play mid.
Yeah, and just through pressure as well, you can see now that Rabble feeling confident as well. They're just, you know, they're not even on the right side of the map. Right now, Spooky is in Rapple's jungle and Rabble is in Spooky's jungle. So they're just trading camps right now. And while Spooky is still ahead in levels, Rabble is still the champion that's going to be proactive when we get to the later stages of the game. Spooky is expected to be ahead, but it's up to what will he use his lead for instead.
That's the thing. Nidalee is a power farmer and gets ahead by just experience and gold, but it's how you use that experience and gold. It's not like it's as simple as something like a Sejuani. You hit 6 and goes, right, my ultimate means I can find a pick. It's, you've got to be proactive. You've got to know what you're doing. And landing that Nidalee spear, obviously, normally burns something, whether that be a summoner spell or even a life. But it's one of those abilities where it's online. It can be sometimes a little bit harder for people to dodge it. So I have to see whether or not the side of GamerLegion are equipped to deal with this thing.
And here's the thing about GamerLegion. They're already way smarter with the rotations coming in here. VCC just backed, got his Berserker Greaves, got the Vampiric Scepter. He's feeling it. Okay, I'm just going back to bot. I'm fine. No, you're not. Lane rotations are coming in. Your Herald is not going to be beneficial because you're the enemy Jhin here. Hjarnan sitting on a BF sword, sitting on that pickaxe. They're going to feel comfortable to contesting it. No, they're not, because Rabble is not up there. Never mind. I take everything back.
It's okay.
It was such a good rotation, though. You get the Herald play, but I just wish Rabble was up there as well.
It was a little bit of an oopsie-poopsie from GamerLegion on that one, because it was a great macro rotation, but they just kind of didn't
Because that's the thing with rotations. Okay, Drake is no longer up. What do we have on the map we can take? Oh, we got Rift Hell. What's the power we can bring to that Rift Hell? In the early game, it's going to be 2 members from the bot side. But, you know, SuppUp now, they're feeling themselves. They got free farm onto VCC. They didn't even have to join the fight. Rotations came in from Hjarnan and company, and they don't even get the Rift Hell.
To me, that felt like they planned a surprise birthday party, but then didn't invite the person whose birthday it was. They weren't ready for that, and they're like, wait, you invited him, right?
Oddly specific.
Oddly, yeah, I can't even say specific, right?
This is a hard word.
It shouldn't be, but it is. Now, the rotation actually comes through as SuppUp, after the Rift Herald goes down, bring their bot lane top side. And Spooky, he's on the other side of the map, so they may just look to try and put the solo gold into the Renekton to try and snowball him. Obviously wants to try and pull as far ahead from phones as possible and keep him in a side lane so he can't get those big Ornn ultis off, can't catch him out with the Call of the Forge God. We'll have to see what the plan is, though, for SuppUp. For the moment, klowny just going to shove this lane into the bot side, and SuppUp actually going to have to play respectful because they don't really have the members, they don't have the numbers to try and hold this turret if multiple members collapse on them.
Yeah, and while they do have the Tahm Kench, obviously, he will just be taken down as well. They're really tanky when it's a Leona dynamo. I mean...
Not quite as close as it was last time. Nite does take a little bit of damage, but he's going to be okay. This plate should fall slowly but surely. Hjarnan's going to step up, got that 4th shot, and the minions will finish up the rest of that as TasteLess. It's jumping forward, lands the tongue lash, but...
But here's the state as well. 50 seconds until Drake spawns. You're trying to be proactive with this Herald, but there's no way you're one-shotting a turret. It doesn't happen. You can't dive this on. At best, he'll just wave clear with the Call of the Forge God, and that won't be up for the next fight. Because as you can already see here, they're no threat. The best you can do right now is just drop a Herald, be happy with the little gold you're gonna get, and that's about it. What I would like to see now here is the bot lane from GamerLegion, as they've done right now, pushing the top side, back, get the resets done, be ready for Drake, and then, you know, set it up because you had the first rotation.
Yeah, GamerLegion were able to get that first Drake as well, so if SuppUp can tie that score, it pushes back that soul, it gives them a little bit of breathing room as, you know, GamerLegion, they want to scale. Like we said, they just want to sit back, they want to get into those later stages of the game, and getting an early dragon and denying SuppUp from being able to snowball off dragons is going to be really, really big for them. So that's a nice pick up there for GamerLegion, and actually they are the ones set up to get this second Infernal, so they're now actually really using their rotation smartly. We'll get spotted out by the Hawk shot, but there's no one in place to be able to contest this, and that's second dragon to GamerLegion.
And this is the part where the game will suddenly become harder to play. Vel'Koz will get more items, it will be easier for him to wave clear the mid.
Ooh, Call of the Forge God's flashed away. That's a lot of damage into the Nidalee.
And that's the thing. You no longer had that pressure in lanes that you did in early game. There's no dive pressure onto the Ornn, so that's not a threat. It's hard pushing in the Vel'Koz, so that's not a threat. And your Ashe Tahm Kench bot lane never had the pressure you needed. So this is where the timer has kind of run out, and you need to find different way to get back into the game. But this is a good incentive coming into it. Finally getting some gold onto Renekton. He is building that Blade of the Ring King, so he is trying to be a threat onto the likes of an Ornn. But Ornn's real objective here is just to wave clear. It's never really to fight with this Crocodile.
They are actually looking to shove in this Rift Herald again, although Rabble is about and should be able to stop the charge from coming down, as is going to be dissuaded. His phones did have the backup of his jungler to make sure that it doesn't go down, but SuppUp, they do get the first Tower Blood. They get all of the plate gold onto klowny as well, so they'll be closer and closer towards that Blade of the Ruined King. As you can see the individual golds right now, it's a 600 gold lead to Hjarnan, though. He's got a big lead over VZZ at 12 minutes. Top lane, that is a big deficit, though. That is a real problem. Pretty much all of this gold lead is top lane.
But is it really a problem? I mean, you're sitting on an Ornn here and you're sitting on a Renekton. If this gold lead is not something you can suddenly just become really far ahead with, like, it's not a Camille we're dealing with here who will just blow up tanks if she gets a gold lead. It's a Renekton who still will need some sort of help, and this Ornn, as I said, at best, he's going to be wave playing with Call of the Forge Guard, and you can find a fight while the Call of the Forge Guard is down. And that's like one of the, it's some of the micro objectives you kind of need to have in check. Check your check marks before, that was a lot of checks, before the fight starts, just to really get the percentages with you for these fights. But as it seems right now, GamerLegion, they don't need to do much. They need to just chill, as you said. They're outscaling, as you can already see. Infinity Edge now picked up for Hjarnan. Over on the other side, BCC not even done his Blade of the Ruined King. And that's a cheap item.
Yeah, I mean, he is going to base now. Hopefully should have that, as Hjarnan is pretty far ahead of him. Does feel pretty rough, though, for Rabble and Phones. Triple Blade of the Ruined King. That's a lot of health percent damage coming down, so these tanks actually can get shredded by SuppUp. But for Ornn, it's not really about surviving. It's about just getting that big Call of the Forge God down, doing as much as you can before you die, and then allowing Hjarnan and Nite just to layer that damage out and look to blow up the targets they need to. As SuppUp, they're lacking a tank. This is what we talked about. This was their weakness.
But they're also lacking a bit of proactivity. They had some good ideas in the early game with a good rotation, but as soon as that dive didn't work, it just seemed like they were a bit out of gas. They didn't try to do it again. As soon as Ashe hit your level 6, I kind of want you to do some rotation with Tahm Kench. You got the availability, you got the movement around the map, and you need to set up somewhere. Try to force the flash, try to use something in the early game, because as we said, you're on a timer, not only in terms of items, also in terms of Drakes. There are already 2 onto GamerLegion. Next one will be spawning in 2 minutes, and you need to be confident that you can fight that. And as of right now, I'm not confident in their abilities.
To be honest, me neither at the moment, as Rift Herald is picked up by SuppUp, so that's the second one for them. They can look to try and take some towers. TasteLess actually gets jumped onto, has to flash the wall away from GamerLegion. Visdom doing a good job to find himself an opening there. Forcing the flash from the Tahm Kench means that that's also VZZ losing a bit of safety. Nite's going to take pretty much most of that culling, and as I say that, I kind of cursed him. And Nite dodges out on the rest of it.
He also did have the heal if you wanted more ability power, or movement speed rather.
Oh, Lucy actually gets himself the flash burn himself as he looks to go aggressive onto Nite.
And I don't know if it's a bit of a desperation we're seeing here, but no matter if it's not working or not, I like that they're trying. I like that SuppUp is giving that their best to find the leads while they still can. He's like, all right, finally finished my Blade of the Ruined King. This is a spike for me. I'll need to make the most out of it.
To me, it looks like he was trying to force prior in mid lane because that dragon's spawning up in 45 seconds. So getting your priority there, being able to shove in, get your base off, get your resets and get control. As SuppUp do have the lanes where they want them for this dragon, and they need to start contesting. 2 already over to GamerLegion. It's going to be a Mountain Soul. They're going to struggle to actually cut through the likes of Hjarnan and Nite if this Soul comes through early. Spooky will have the Rift Delta throw down, which will afford some room to the side of SuppUp. And they are going to move over and look to clear out this wall, the Vision, but there is still a Rift Herald, no, a Scuttle Crab, sorry, in the area. As Man is looking for Nite, it's going to lock him down, but gets knocked up, and now Nite actually uses the laser beam.
Oh, I was
going low.
If you were to fight this, if you was SuppUp, it was through the klowny in the top side. You needed to layer the CC down, get that Ashe in, get that Renekton W, get that stun down on some target. But they're not coordinated. You can see that they're trying to individually get a lead. First it was Lukezy in the mid lane, now it's SuppUp, and now the Drake is being started, and it's hard for them to find a way into it.
I just don't think they can, as actually they're looking for Spooky, catching them out with the Solar Flare, able to jump away with the flash. Call of the Forge God comes down. Spooky just being jumped up and down like he's on a trampoline, and that is the 3rd dragon for GamerLegion. 17 minutes on the clock for that. Means we are looking at an early soul, unless SuppUp can do something about this, as Nite is going to get zoned away by the culling. Lukezy unable to really find it.
So yeah, as you said earlier, not a glacial augment. Vel'Koz coming out doesn't stop him from going GLP. One of the most cost-efficient items in the game in terms of the ability power it gives, in terms of the effects you get from it. It's a really nice pickup here. Speaking of pickup,
nah, okay, he's able to shuffle away to safety. He's put enough distance between him and Nite, but still playing aggressive here on the Lucian. Recognizes he is still on a power spike at the moment, but Rift Herald hasn't been used, and Spooky may just look to summon this up in the mid lane. Try and get control of the area.
it would be nice if you could get mid lane down through the pressure here. You'll at least have more to work with. Mid lane is one of those turrets you will almost always need to have down to try and get pressure into the enemy jungle, because it's such a tight space. Oh, arrow!
Ooh, arrow's going to go a little bit wide. The Renekton almost ready to fire that. The tower in the mid lane will go down. GamerLegion, they're up in towers. Sorry, they're up in dragons, they're up in kills and gold, but they are suffering in the tower department. As Hjarnan finally gets a turret in the bot lane for the side of GamerLegion, is going to unlock some of that gold deficit for them and peel them back closer and closer. Because remember, SuppUp, they need to play early. GamerLegion, they're okay to scale, and there's a lot of locked gold in these towers for them.
But slowly and surely, you're starting to see SuppUp awake here. They're actually trying to throw out some arrows out of nowhere. I don't care if you hit or miss them. I just want to see that you're passionate about this fight, that you know you need to get something going. And we're slowly starting to see that. Now you need it to be more coordinated, because there's 3 minutes. 3 minutes on a timer. And then you need to fight a team fight, or you just give over the soul. And at that point, it's a mountain soul. You're not ahead in an item, so that just gives even more priority and effort and value into the mountain soul.
And crucially, it's an early soul as well. Early mountain soul is very effective. So, like, mountain does fall off a little bit as you go later because of the amount of shielding you get, but early, it's actually a really significant shield, especially when we're looking at the items that have been picked up. It's 1.5 items, bar the Renekton for the side of SuppUp. They are going to struggle to cut through the health bars of GamerLegion if a Mountain Soul gets picked up, and that's exactly what Hjarnan wants. Yeah, Hjarnan wants to be as safe as possible on this Jhin.
Exactly, and it's just as you're saying that these resistances, these bonus percentages, this armor and magic resist, if you do not have the gold on SuppUp to even be ahead or even in items, you're not going to have the gold to suddenly get a Last Whisper or any kind of penetration you need to get through the shielding, these extra armor percentages. And that just makes it so much harder to play into a Mountain Soul when you're behind.
And one of the things we also want to talk about is there is an Ornn. Ornn at level 14 will start to be able to hand those upgrades out. Almost about to hit level 13, so we'll have upgrades for himself. And that also just gives you another kind of slight push in power. Kind of spikes you a little bit earlier if your GamerLegion.
But, yeah, speaking of push, I mean, that limit is going to be reached soon by GamerLegion and where they feel comfortable to just do whatever they are. You can already see them now. They're just walking up, and SuppUp, they've lost the pressure. They've lost the ability to defend anything here, and a lot of it can go back to the mistake that's been made in early game in terms of lack of proactivity. You can go back to draft. But as we were saying, there's only 1 kill separating the two of them. And there is still win conditions. Right now, you see no cleanses, no QSSs onto any of the members of GamerLegion. And that is hope. It's not much, but it's hope that you can blow someone up if you find the right flank, or the right fight, or just the right target out of nowhere.
Yeah, and you can also see they are utilizing the 1-3-1 very effectively. They took a tower in that bot lane. That's the last tower out of all the altars. Lukezy's up here in the top lane on the Lucian, shoving away. Dragon spawning up. This is now the time for SuppUp to go to base, spend that gold, and get ready for this fight, because they need to contest this dragon. Runan's Hurricane, Blade the Ruin King onto VZZ. That's a big power spike. You've now got almost the cleaver onto Lukezy, not quite finished up on to Lukezy, as klowny does have his walk and his black cleaver.
So yeah, 2 coming in with a black cleaver, so luckily klowny will be there just for hopefully shredding the armor for his 280 carries in these kind of fights. But they're very stacked right now. What I'm hoping to see from SuppUp is just determination to get onto someone. Them cheesing in a bush, them being ready. And I like that the way we can see klowny now towards the river, trying to get into position or just rejoining the team, but he's trying to get behind here.
Yeah, they are trying to get there. The knock-up is going to go a little bit wide as the culling comes down. Only does a little bit of damage to Rabble as the curtain gets cooled on to the side of SuppUp. Lukezy inside the pit as the Hextech Hosepipe is thrown down. TasteLess has to flash away. Lukezy inside that pit still. The Spooky's looking for his opportunity. Look for klowny on the flank. Call of the Forge God lands onto the Nidalee. Instantly caught out by all of the CC. Rabble's going to take a little bit of damage, but klowny now also having to go golden. All of SuppUp are looking to run to the win as GamerLegion are just going to turn this around. Rabble jumps in for massive ultimate, slamming into those carries. carries, and 2 members go down. It's a double kill for Visdom, and the soul for GamerLegion. Spooky's gonna have to pull off a miracle here with this spear as he throws it down, and Visdom blocks it up. Soul to GamerLegion.
I mean, and it's just so controlled by GamerLegion. Everything that's been going on in this game, yeah, there might be some resident sleepers in chat. I don't care. What you're seeing here is someone who know they have a win condition almost purely outside of draft, then just playing into it, just playing into the pressure and not faltering to it. We saw multiple times. Phones, let's talk about the 3-man dive 3 minutes into the game, or how early it was. Just respecting it, backing up. He was 2k down. He knows that doesn't matter, because in the end, it's just way easier for GamerLegion to play the game.
They're mad scientists who understand their craft. Maybe they're not mad scientists at all. Maybe they're just scientists.
I mean, I think it's too early to say that out of what I've seen from GamerLegion. I think this is where we weak in terms of how mad they can actually get. This is quite a standard composition.
Yeah. They are actually looking for a little pick here. Rabble is going to get himself caught out, but the rest of GamerLegion actually closing in. And Visdom looking to see if he can find that turnaround. Does get the Zenith Blade off onto the Tahm Kenches. Phones is going to take the culling. Spooky misses out on the spear, but a massive knockout comes in. So 2-man Solar Flare is going to be down. And so far, it's just a 1-for-1. With GamerLegion are looking for more. Spooky being forced away. His health bar is just forced too low. And SuppUp are just going to get sent packing. This tower should go down. Spooky looks for a spear, but it only connects onto Phones. And now GamerLegion will just take themselves their 3rd tower.
And now they finally get a pick onto Hjarnan. Hjarnan initially really out of position here from the team coming in. There's 3 members of GamerLegion in the red side jungle, and meanwhile Hjarnan is just pushing top side with Phones. But in that team fight, oh, that was almost a really good prediction.
That was almost spooky.
Really. Really. But yeah, you can also just see how tanky Phones is.
Rabble looking for Spooky, catches him out with the face breaker, the Call of the Forge God, looking for VZZ. He's going to get knocked up as now klowny on that front line, and Spooky is shut down. Nite able to find the kill. GamerLegion just so dominant right now.
And it's just controlled. It's really just, it doesn't even need to be an individual skill discrepancy we're seeing. It's just people here understanding the basic macro of the game, how they want it to play. Now you can take a look at the play here. Hjarnan all alone here, forcing the TP out of Phones to get up here. Initially, this is what we wanted from SuppUp, just to pull the trigger and straight up go for him. No cleanse, no QSS. If you can get as many people as possible onto him, it's actually easy pickup. Finally, the arrow hits. Finally, we see the members going onto them. But at this point, it's too late. You cannot deal with the rest of GamerLegion. Nite was actually just there ulting the wall, barely getting onto the members. But look at Phones, he was just so tanky throughout that whole fight. That spear, not even taking down the Mountain Drake shield.
I think this HyperX replay just shows us that Visdom's having a really good game on the Leona. He's constantly finding key targets. He's always just zoning everybody away. His Leona's been flawless so far. 2-0-3. Sure, he's taken up a little bit of the glory in the kill count, but I think he's earned it.
Thank you, HyperX, for that replay. Going into the game, we are almost nearing that. The Elder Drake will be up and available for this team as well. And you know, I don't see what's stopping them. If this Elder Drake is not being taken by GamerLegion, it's because they might have already ended the game at that point. It's really hard for SuppUp to get in here. Now Hjarnan still not invested into any QSS. So, small chance in this game. Really small percentage, yeah. I mean,
you say small percentage. I just saw a small percentage of Rabble's health bar disappear to an entire Lucian combo.
I'm really trying to help them.
I know.
I'm really giving them the... But this is the thing. No matter how far behind you are, you always need to play for the small percentages.
Yes.
There could be 0.1% left, and you would still play for that 0.1%.
Never give up. And that is what SuppUp are looking to do. They're looking to try and get into this pit. Baron, half HP. They do catch out the Deadly Flourish as TasteLess gets knocked up. All of the CC being layered in as the curtain is cooled and members are being cut through. Nite's already been able to find himself one, and GamerLegion have just scattered everybody on SuppUp down. It's a double kill already picked up onto Nite on his Vel'Koz, and they do have their jungler. They still have that small percentage play available to them. It's back to Baron. It's back to business for GamerLegion, right?
Let's go Spooky. I want to see that steal. I want to see him get in there. I want to see him be ballsy. I want to see him be brave.
Can he do it? He's looking for the spear onto Visdom, unable to do so. They spot out at the moment as the spear comes down. Spooky can get over that wall with the jump if he needs to. They're looking for the knockup. They're looking for the interrupt. Spooky jumps over. He's going to try and steal it away.
Oh!
Spooky steals the Baron! That was the play you needed! The small percentage comes up. VZZ now running, trying to keep that Baron buff alive for his team, but Rabble will chase him down.
Run for the
VZZ just bolting for the hills. He has his Tahm Kench. He's been spotted out by the Scryer's Bloom. Hjarnan is hunting him as he finds the shutdown. Oh my lord, Spooky, that was beautiful.
It was beautiful, but you know what the sad reality is? It almost won't matter. That is just like so hard.
Hold on, TasteLess has Barons. Wait, does he?
Yes.
Actually, yeah, he does. Okay,
Yes, he
TasteLess
does.
has Baron. Small percentages. Small percentages.
I like that.
Goalboard.
You know what? You know what? No matter what happens in this game, no matter if GamerLegion takes it, it's a valuable experience for SuppUp. This is something that you cannot get out of Scrim. This is something that you cannot get out of your own league. This is another level. And this is something, it's early in your Masters. You can still bot you can still go back, you can still change up things. And honestly, great from Spooky. I don't know what happened with that suplex.
I think he flashed it and that like cancelled the animation in a weird way.
I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah, that was really, really weird. But honestly, I do want to give a massive shout out to Spooky, not just because he stole it, because of the patience he held. He didn't jump over the wall too early. They were waiting for him, and he waited until the crucial moment. Now he's going to have to find another incredible spear, but he's been jumped onto. Visdom gets a big solar flare off, and Phones and him are just zoning away. Lukezy onto that flank. Spooky, he's been zoned out of the pit. Elder Dragon is still started up, and Spooky looking to see if he can get him, but Visdom's able to lock him down. That's going to be the Elder. Picked up, and the slam's coming in. Rabble pulls everybody in, and he gets himself one. That's going to be another one for Nite. They are just cutting down members of SuppUp one by one. 4 members fall, and this should just be GamerLegion able to crack open the base.
Boom, bada bing, pow, pow. I mean, that's just how it goes as soon as you get that Elder Drake. There's not much to be said about it. In general, this was just superior from GamerLegion in every way, shape, and form possible here. And honestly, I don't want to discredit SuppUp. What I liked that I saw from SuppUp is that need to actually try. They had a way too slow early game when the top dive didn't work, but
yeah. One more glory kill as it's a delayed 8 for GamerLegion. They're going to be able to take down the turrets. 30 minutes on the clock, and GamerLegion find their first win at the European Masters. Yeah. Go for a few glory kills first, though. They have that Elder there. Not in time. There it is. GamerLegion, 30 minutes on the clock. Good game from them. Very controlled. Baron still aside, but I don't actually think that's GamerLegion making a mistake. I think that was more Spooky playing
that was
very
really
smart.
Play, yeah.
He was really, really smart on that play, and just clutch flash to cancel out on the Sett ultimate. Just overall, really, really good stuff. Loved that. I really love that.
yeah, same. And honestly, I like to see this kind of when they're coming out from minor regions. You obviously won't have the biggest following. Obviously, are the underdogs coming into it. I don't necessarily always want to see a win from them. I just want to see that they're trying to be proactive, trying to show that they deserve a spot at the European Masters.
Yeah, well, they really did put a fight up, and unfortunately, it wasn't enough, and that will be a win for GamerLegion. Now, guys, we're going to cut to a quick break, and when we're back, we'll break that game down a little bit more. We'll see you in a second. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the European Masters as we're breaking down that last game and realistically the day here as our first day is coming to a close. But before that, let's have a little breakdown of that last game because SUPP, there were moments. There were moments. You could see they understood what they needed to do. The execution was maybe a little bit off, but GamerLegion, they had a really, really good read on what SUPP were looking to do. They sat back, they went into their game, and they just played, well, they played the game on their terms.
Yeah, I mean, GamerLegion, straight out of the bat, it's just a better draft. It's way easier to play, and when you're a SuppUp here, you need to make things happen in the early game. And we did try to see them make things happen in the early game, but problem is, it turns out Nite's pretty good Vel'Koz.
This outplay was unbelievable. Lukezy just did not expect that damage, and that's the passive on the Vel'Koz. When you get the true damage coming up through, it hurts. It really hurts.
Just so much, honestly. And I mean, that's just, it is, you know, not a very impactful game in terms of kills and bloodshed that we're getting out of it. But in terms of just straight up macro, someone playing to win conditions, GamerLegion displayed what our drafting could do and how you can actually just play to a win condition, which is just sit back, relax. They need to do something proactive. I think there's something to be learned from SuppUp here as well, because they need to be more proactive early. We started to see it way too late, and that's why they just can't do anything in a team fight like this. You can just tell how far ahead they are on the side of GamerLegion right now.
Yeah, there were a lot of times where they looked for these plays, but there were a few issues. I think the dragons going over when you wanted to play early. So many dragons going over early just really gave GamerLegion everything they needed. They didn't even need Baron to close the game. They lost Baron.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the Baron. It was that Elder Drake was just decided the entire game. And I mean, this was when they lost the Baron. And I just want to emphasize how patiently Spooky played this. Look, he knows it's going low, but he is waiting it out. Nite's the only one DPSing it down. That flash was clutch. Comes in with a smite. Rabble put himself too far away to actually smite it. And sure, Spooky died, but just the patience from Spooky was really impressive.
And the reason why this was hype, it wasn't because anyone of us thought that, oh, they're suddenly just going to win the game. But it's because it's something proactive from a smaller team coming into it. And you can see they were nervous trying not to make plays. They were a bit hesitant in what they wanted to do. And then they slowly woke up and slowly wanted to play their game. This is experience from SuppUp.
Yeah.
You cannot discredit that they came here today and fight in the late game. It was way too late. It was a losing fight, but they fought.
I think it's fair to say that of all of the teams we've got here in the group stages, the EBL are arguably, you know, in the roughest situation. And they've got a lot to prove. And, you know, little things like this are a good start. Sure, they don't win the game, but they are taking on the Dark region. They're taking on one of the strongest and most consistent regions here in the European Masters. And just overall, just, you know, it was a good showing from them. It wasn't enough, but you can see the standings right now and the scores after the first day of play. Movistar Riders and GamerLegion over in Group B have themselves one win apiece. Over in Group C, Misfits, Premier, and We Love Gaming got a win. And then over in Group D, Fnatic Rising and Mouse Sports both got themselves a win. Are there any groups here that you're quite excited for?
I mean, definitely Group A. We didn't see any of Group A today at all. I think it's one of the most stacked groups we got. I am looking forward to Samsung Morningstars versus LDLC tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, this is tomorrow's schedule, starting off with Schalke Evolution versus Kick Neo Surf, and be rounding the day out actually with Gamers Origin versus Intrepid Fox. That Mouse versus Fnatic game, though, oh my lord, I am excited for that. Fnatic, it was clutch. It was very, very clutch for them. It was not as one-sided as what Mouse put on, and Fnatic, they are going to have to put some serious work in if they want to close this out, because Group D, at the moment, to me, just from what we've seen so far, I am thinking Mouse are definitely the best team in that group. And Fnatic, you know, they've got a lot to prove.
I'm honestly yet to decide. I'd argue that Fnatic had a harder opponent to play against today, but I'm really excited for this EU Masters because I'm still not at the point where I'm saying, oh, this team, that's definitely the team that's going to win. There's a lot of teams coming into this EU Masters with the potential to take it all.
I mean, it's only day one. There's so much more to go. But guys, we are going to be rounding it out here. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow for day 2 of the European Masters. Until then, good night.